Hello everyone.
Hi.
So this is our video for week 2, the managerial roles. Since we didn't start our internship back then, we are making it up and doing it now. So there are 2 individuals that have like managerial roles, right? At our internship, the executive director and the assistant director. And we're going to talk about our assistant director. His name is Thohib. We call him Thohib Bai. And I will talk about his roles, and Shanique will talk about the challenges he faces. Yep. So some of the roles he has, he monitors the daily activities of all 116 professional staff members. He develops and implements programs, develops materials. Some of the examples are
the policy materials for the policy handbook for the staff to follow, some research papers that they have to publish,
the resource booklets, strategic plans.
Mm-hmm.
So basically everything they print, he writes them.
Yeah.
Next is he creates the content for the website. He's in charge of funding, so writing grants, looking for grants, all of that fun stuff. He represents IDEA at workshops and outside community events. He's in charge of hiring and firing. So the decision is made between him and our executive director, but he's the one that actually has to
carry out.
Yeah. Bad news.
Yeah.
And he used to be the HR department until recently.
The whole department.
He was in charge of it all.
One man.
Yeah. So as you can tell, having all these roles can be a challenge within itself, but Shanique will talk about some of the challenges that he mentioned.
Yeah, so when we asked him about his biggest challenges being the assistant director, the first one he talked about was funding and how it's his responsibility to always be looking for grants that he can apply for and actually doing the proposals. And he talked about USAID, how their process is very specific of what they want, and the agency itself has to meet a lot of criteria before they're even able to apply for a grant through that agency, and that's that's a really big funder globally. So, and then he also talked about, and our executive director mentioned this as well, is that Bangladesh is doing their GDP, so their gross domestic profit, is rising, and according to the World Bank, they're moving up, so they're going to be a middle-class country soon, most likely. So this affects their funding because they have a lot of international donors, and these donors they're like, oh, Bangladesh, you're doing so well. Okay, let's move our funding from there and help countries that still really need it. So some of their 5 programs they phased out 5 programs last year, and their staff was over 200, and now it's down to 116 because they had to get rid of people because the projects, the funders were like, we want to help other countries now. So that's a big issue that they're dealing with. And which brings us to our next challenge for him is having to fire people. So he says that it's not hard for him to actually do it because he just has that stern type of personality, and he's really like cut and dry, straight to the point, very professional. So he said that's not hard for him, but it's hard after the projects get phased out because a lot of the employees still call him since he's in charge of funding, and they know that he's looking to get new projects implemented. So they call him all the time. He says every night he gets a call from someone asking, like, oh, so what's up? Like, are you guys getting any new projects? Do you think we'll be getting a job soon? Because they kind of just sit around and wait for our agency to develop a new project. And he's the bearer of bad news most of the time because he can't promise anything to anyone with no grant that has been, that's going to fund the project. So he said that's really difficult for him. And yeah, that's basically the 2 biggest challenges he talked about, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, he's really busy. We asked him about self-care, and he kind of looked at us like, "What's that?" So, that's another challenge, him finding time for self-care, because after he says he doesn't even work on grant stuff during office hours, that he does that at home because he can't get to it at work because he's doing so many other things. And they work 6 days a week. They only have off on Fridays. So he's just always going, and it seems like this agency kind of is his life. So, we reminded him about self-care, and then because some of the programs are to help people enjoy life better. And we were like, what about you? And then he was like, yeah, I should practice what I preach. So, yeah, that's a big challenge for him. And the executive director, he says that the executive director is even more busy than he is. So, that's rough.
Yeah, and the executive director has been a part of the agency since
its beginning.
Yeah.
Before it was even an agency.
So he's been there since 1993.
Yeah. It was just a group of men who got together and wanted to help people in the community, and he was one of those men. So.
But another thing I wanted to mention really quick, the executive director, we went to a meeting with him, kind of a trip with him, and it was really nice the way he, the relationship he has with his employees. He basically went to, there was, oh my God, what were they doing? What is
the water project?
The water project, but it was.
Oh, an audit.
An audit. So he wanted to go on the final day just to be there to support his staff members, which I thought was so nice.
He said for emotional support.
Emotional support. Because they're not really originally from that area. They all live in Silet where we are right now. So he wanted to be there, familiar face, emotional support. And after the audit, he sat with them and debriefed. And I thought that was so nice. Like, they have a really good relationship with their boss. So they don't really look at their as a boss. Another thing, they call their bosses Bai, which means brother. So they all refer to them as Bai, like brother, or the girls as sister, Appa. So that like makes them closer, brings them closer. So we call the ED, executive director, Nazima Bai, and then all the other females Appa. So I think that's really cute.
It really helps like the family environment, and they spend so much time together. So 6 days a week.
9 to 5:30.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. So yeah, that's our video about managerial roles. If you guys have any questions, you guys can send us an email or we'll talk to you guys soon.
Yeah. Thanks.
Bye.